everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
My question to you is, will you observe and attend to research that is not a part of your or my subjective experience? It's the
100%.
collective
I wrote a
experience.
book on this stuff. Let me give you a couple examples. Do you think that
No, 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 no. Wait,
Derek
wait, 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 wait.
Chauvin? Okay.
I want to hear your example. I mean, I want to hear your response clearly. Will you accept data that is beyond just subjective experience and is developed
I
by
just
people that research this?
I just told you that the Harvard professor had his data. I accept all data, but
Okay,
but
then
I'm articulating to you that there's counter data to saying that there's implicit bias in policing, to a large degree, racism against blacks. I just showed you there's counter data. I accept everybody's
but
data
why
as
are you
them
giving more weight? Why are you giving this? This
because
speaks to the very bias I'm talking about. You're giving more weight to this
I'm
one
giving
study
right.
versus the contrarian ideas.
No. There's a study, right, that I observed. There's two studies. There's the pro and against, and then I have to go off my own experience. So
No,
based on
that's not how learning happens.
no, if you got a study, right, you have a study. Just give both of them credit to say they both are correct subjectively. They both have a subjective perspective here. Both of them are correct. Now, I can't, how am I going to choose who's right and who's wrong in this? It has to go down to what are my experiences, and does my experiences as a law enforcement officer and all of the officers that I know match one of these experiences?
That's
Because
not accurate.
not unless you're saying one is right and one is wrong.
That is not
Are
accurate.
you saying that the
Re-
Harvard study is wrong?
that is not what I'm saying. I
Okay,
will
then we're
articulate.
assuming, I'm conceding that
I'm
both of them are subjectively correct. And whatever
that is
research
not.
they,
You got to let me explain how research is consumed. Research is absolutely not one is right and one is wrong. That's not how research is consumed.
exactly, subjective,
Because
they have subjective truths.
no, let me explain, because I'm trying to explain to you how research is consumed, because it's not a matter of one research study being right and one research study being wrong.
Do Brandon Tatum have a college degree? Not he probably has a college degree because he was a police officer, but I assume that it was only an associate's degree because but he did go. Did he go to college? He went to a 4-year college, but he became a police officer. But you only need a 2-year degree, so I don't know to what type of scholar that Brandon Tatum is, but he doesn't seem like he's the brightest one because of how this guy is trying to teach him how to consume research, and Brandon Tatum is just trying to. He's like, you know how you can be knowledgeable on something, but you're not 100% sure. So you say whatever you think it may be. That's what he does. He says what he thinks it may be, whether it be right or wrong. But as long as he talking and he keep talking around you, you're going to forget the point that he don't even know what he talking about.
There are many factors in the research study, meaning what kind of study was it? Was it a double-blind research study, which is the gold standard? Was it a meta-analysis, which compares all kinds of research? How many subjects were in that research?
We,
Research is weighted, so it's not just like one is right and one is
no,
wrong.
no.
You can
I
absolutely have two
understand that.
studies saying contrarian things, but one of them did far more rigorous things to get their
Yes,
response, and
you.
that matters.
Yeah, but you can also, and I agree with you. Research can be wrong too. People can have malicious reasons to do research and have imperfect findings because they've intended it to be that way. I'm conceding to the fact that both of these research data points are objectively are in good faith presented to the public. What I'm telling you is that you ask me why do I lean more towards one than the other. I'm conceding
Correct.
that they both are fair, but then I have to go off of my lived experience. Let me give you an example. If you being a clinician doing your job for 20 plus years, you have a study that says that black people are not treated poorly whatsoever in your field, and you have one that says black people are treated imperfectly all the time, more consistently. You give them both fair weight as if these are good faith attempts to present information. You have to then rely on your personal experience to say,
That is
But that don't make no sense because if you're researching, that means you, like he said, there's a variable of subjects in this research. So how many people did each study research? So if the study that's trying to disprove that black people are treated unfairly, if they use 10 black people in the field, whatever, 10 black people, and it turns out that only 3 of the 10 black people were mistreated. But then another research is taking people from a time period to a certain time period, and it broadens the number of how many people, and then now he does 100 people in a certain time period. Then you have more variables. Now you have 79 people out of 100. That doesn't mean that the 10 people that the other research disapproved, that like only 3 of the 10 were treated unfairly. But then when you do over a long period of time and you see that 79, then you proven like overwhelmingly they're treated unfairly. But that's how research does it is. So you can do research on a small thing, but your answer might not be as accurate as you think. But if you do it over time, you might get a bigger answer. You might get a more in-depth answer. That's what the LPC, Elliot Connie, was telling him. But he don't think like that because Brandon Tatum don't really have no education. He really just skated by. He probably got all C's in college to get his associate's degree so he can go be a police officer. They didn't say you had to have a 3.0. They just said you had to get the grades or pass the class. That's it. So Brandon Tatum is saying that these two can both be the same. But what Brandon Tatum will do is he'll see that one that has the 10 studies and saying that black people aren't mistreated. Only 30% of the black people that were treated in this study of 10 people, he'll stick with that and be like, but these 3 people out of the 10 weren't mistreated. But then when you look over time, it's been a certain amount of number, but he'll continue to ignore the truth and fact that overwhelmingly. But that's just an example. I'm not saying that it happened. I'm just saying that's an example. And that's what Brandon Tatum do. He would try to find any which way to say black people were treated fairly. And that's what he getting at. But he said black people were never treated unfairly. We ended up getting all the same. We get all the same things that white people get. Now, in 2026, most of it, for the most part, yeah. But not in 1940, fool. Like, but we're not in 1940. But if you look over time,
you keep saying that is not
weighs
accurate.
more. I mean, I think that's the way people. You can't like.
Well,
for
I'm going
instance,
to tell you. I'm going to tell you.
For instance, I have never experienced racial encounters on the police department ever by any of the officers. Most of the officers that I know that work in primarily black neighborhoods on the Georgia police officers. I mean, I actually mentored one of them. They are saying the same thing. That dude, majority of our encounters are not racist encounters. My white colleagues are not racist against black people. It's a rare thing to happen. So all of the people I know, all of the experience I have, when I look at the 2 data points, objectively, I'm saying that
but saying it's rare does not take away the fact that it happens. Doesn't matter if it happens, because first of all, you're a police officer. So if a police officer is being racist, it doesn't matter if it's just one. Because then what happens when a cop gets found to have some bias or done criminality while arresting people? What happens to all those cases? They get thrown out, whether that person was guilty or not. What happens if if it comes back that a judge is being racist or biased to partial to black people versus any other race? What happens? All those cases get thrown out. Like, just because it's one and it's rare, it doesn't mean it don't happen. And Brandon Tatum is like, well, I'll just deal with the one rare case versus, if we could have 50 cases, but we only got one, so it's okay. No, it's not okay.
I believe in the Harvard study, a professor who did an incredible study, who balanced and weighed all of the data. I'm saying that I lean more towards believing what he's saying because that's
I'm gonna.
also my experience.
Yeah, man. Race Tatum is crazy, man. He do some crazy work. I just can't understand. Shout out to Elliot Connie. This was a great conversation. If you want to check him out, most of it is on, a lot of the clips on TikTok, but I believe the whole full thing is on YouTube. And I watched most of it. I came across it, and then DL Hughley react to it. Everybody was reacting to it because it just comes across as like it doesn't matter what somebody says to Officer Tatum. He doesn't respond to you as if he understands what you're saying. He responds to you as a combative. He responds to you as like, oh well, I don't believe that. I don't think that's true. That's not the facts. What the facts is, and then he starts talking about whatever he think may be right versus a fact. And that's the problem. Like every time he talks about the Nolan Wells case, he's speaking as if he knows the facts. And really it's just an opinion. It doesn't matter if the boys told him that they left at this time and got here at this time, and he knows exactly where the boat was and seen the call logs and all that. It don't matter until you see the facts. But Race Tatum, he'll tell you everything he say is facts. It couldn't be no lie. It can't be debunked. But it is what it is. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comment section.
Everyday people.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in its